Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. Well, another week down. October is almost over. Holy cow. But before I jump into my week, there is one thing I have to say. Maybe it's 1,000 things. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone that has subscribed to this channel and has put me over the 1,000 subscriber mark. That is absolutely amazing. To think that less than 9% of all YouTube channels have 1,000 or more subscribers, and this channel currently does, thanks to you. So thank you so much. Of course, that doesn't mean you can't subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't and you would like to, please click that button down below. I'd appreciate it. But thank you to everybody that helped get me over that 1,000 subscriber mark. I really appreciate it. So we got Halloween coming up. Are you guys ready for Halloween? Does that pose a challenge for you? Do you hand out candy? Does it give you, any trigger moments with that? I'll admit, the last few years I've had a few pieces on Halloween. Probably going to do it again this year. I mean, again, you only live once, right? So you got to enjoy it. But what about you? Does that pose a problem for you? If so, comment down below. Let other people know how you get by it and how you do, so it could help others possibly in the same situation. Again, all we ever do is we just put the bowl outside with the sign that says, you're on camera and please take one, maybe two, that kind of thing. And so we'll do it again this year. Our front door from our living room is quite the walk. So, I'm just too damn lazy when it comes to stuff like that. We live in a pretty good neighborhood, so the candy goes most of the night, and there's usually some left over, so somebody's not just going, yeah, putting it all in their bag. So that's a good thing. This year for Halloween, just like last year, I will be doing my rotation week in the building. I like to refer to them as prison weeks. Anybody that has to do a hybrid work schedule like that probably feels the same. For me, it's so boring. When I'm at home working right from back here, like I have been this last week, on my breaks, I can get up and go do stuff. Yeah, that's, the dishes, go do laundry, hang out with the dogs, whatever. What was it, last Sunday? I went and started a pot of Instant Pot beans. Got to have my beans every day. So each week, I'll make a pot of Instant Pot beans, and I did that on a break of work. So that's awesome. When we're in the building, I can do nothing. It is so underproductive. My breaks, I literally just sit there. I might get up and walk the floor or go out into the main break room, and sit there or maybe talk to somebody. Who knows? But what I do know, I don't get anything done. I am not productive at all, and that drives me nuts because all that stuff I needed to do, I got to do when I come home. I don't know. I sound like a whiner. I'm just too used to working from home. So those weeks, prison week, really drive me insane. And I'll be there this next week, which of course includes Halloween. So I do have me a costume. Boy, I tell you, I can't even tell you the last time I dressed up for Halloween for anything, let alone at work. I don't believe I've ever worn anything to work on Halloween, period. But this year I felt it appropriate, so I'm going to, and I'll share my costume with you next week. Kind of excited for tonight. Tonight is the night that the Oklahoma City Baseball Club here in town are finally going to unveil their new name, their new mascot, as well as their new uniforms for the upcoming season. They were the Dodgers for quite a few years. They are the AAA team of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who, by the way, are in the World Series. Did get to see a few of them doing some rehab stints down here in Oklahoma City this year, so that's kind of exciting. Tonight, they're unveiling that, and I happen to be on the VIP list for it, so I cannot wait to get to go there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is included in the VIP package that get behind the scenes tours of the clubhouse and all sorts of stuff. Can't wait to get to go do that. My bestie and I will be going, so it's another time to get to hang out with her, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just going to throw it out there. I hope the new name is the Comets. I wonder if they'll do it or not, though. And the reason I say the Comets, you're probably thinking, what in the holy world does Oklahoma and Comets have in common? Well, the stadium sits on Mickey Mantle Boulevard or Mickey Mantle Way, whatever it is, right? They have a Mickey Mantle gate with a big statue of Mickey Mantle out front. Mickey Mantle's from Oklahoma, and he is from Commerce, Oklahoma, to be more specific. And he was known as the Commerce Comet. So I'm kind of hoping that they would name that after him, kind of give a little homage to the great Mick. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. But my second guess is the Lightning. Now again, we get a lot of lightning down here in Oklahoma, so that would make sense. Just up the road from where they play is the Pecans Center, where the Thunder play. So that's right, that would mean here in Oklahoma City we would have the Thunder and the Lightning. So that's my second guess. Who knows what in the world it'll be. Back in the day it was the 89ers, then it was the Red Hawks for a lot of time. A lot of people want those two to come back. I don't think they're going to bring back the 89ers, and I say that because for the last couple seasons, every Thursday home game, they've worn the old throwback 89ers jerseys. So I think they'll just keep it that way, and that's a good way to pay tribute to the old team. Red Hawks, I don't know. I think it was just too much. I think they want something new, and I'm hoping it's either the Comets or the Lightning, and I'll let you know next week if I'm right. So with the month of October almost over, I want to share another recipe with you. One of my favorites. This is now for my pumpkin spice cookies, protein cookies. Each one of these cookies has 157 calories, but a whopping 11 grams of protein in them, and they are so good. Let me show you how I make them. This recipe is so easy, you literally put everything into one bowl. So first we got an egg, and we got our pumpkin puree. I'm just using it out of a can. You can, cook your own sweet sugar pumpkins if you want. Make your own puree, but this is so much easier and it's pretty cheap. And goes the 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Now I like to get these good and mixed up, kind of cream them together, if you will, with that yolk and the egg. Make sure it's nice and smooth. And then it's a matter of dumping everything else in. So we have our oat flour, our protein powder. We've got some Monkfruit Sweetener. Give it a little bit of sweetness. You can use whatever kind you like. I like Monkfruit Sweetener. In here we've got some Potassium Chloride, the pumpkin pie spice, as well as the baking soda. Get that all mixed in, and then quickly realize that you forgot one part of your liquid ingredients, and that is a 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using the Fairlife because it is higher in protein. So once you get that mixed in, you'll see that it actually starts coming together like it should have compared to what it looked like. But then it's too much for my whisk, so I'm going to switch to my spatula here. And watch how I do this. I kind of fold it in instead of stirring it. It makes it easier to smooth out some of those clumps to get a good smooth batter. See how I'm pressing down on it there? And then fold it around. And once it's mixed, in goes the rolled oats, the chocolate chips, the pecans, and then finally coconut. Now I'm not a big coconut fan at all, but I tried this recipe without it and it just kind of lacks something. So I put it in there. If you don't like coconut, leave it out. But it is really good in these cookies. So once you get that all mixed in, then you're going to want to let it chill in the fridge for at least a 1/2 hour. So what I like to do is grab one of my silicone lids and I'll toss it on, and into the fridge it goes. Once we've chilled for at least a 1/2 hour, we're going to want to know our weight. Now I'm a nerd when it comes to these things. I like to try to keep things pretty consistent. So I weighed it. You saw 819 there. I want a dozen, which means I want just a scotch over 68 grams per cookie. So I still have that bowl sitting on top of my scale. You can see me reach down there to zero it out each time. So once I see about 68, I'm going to go ahead and make a ball and then form a patty. Now every so often you'll see me like right there, I reach down and I tap my fingers in some water. It just keeps the dough from sticking to your hands, especially with that protein powder in there. It can get quite sticky. As you can see on my hands, it's sticking to it some, but with that water it really helps out. Now there really is no need to measure out your weight. I mean, if you just want to make a dozen cookies, then it's going to come out in the aggregate, right? So if you get a little bit more on one, a little bit less on another, it's all going to work out for you. But I like to weigh it out just because I, can, and so I do. And once they're all done, it's time to pop them into the oven. So when it goes into a preheated oven at 350 degrees, make sure you put it on a middle rack. We don't want these to scorch. We want them to be good. So middle rack is perfect. 15 minutes is all you need, so set a timer. And once it's done, oh man, your house is going to be smelling amazing. Trust me on that, because just look at these things. And what you got now is a dozen pumpkin spice protein cookies that have a good sweetness from the chocolate chip, that little bit of monk fruit sweetener that we use, Good chew from the coconut. And holy cow, if this doesn't satisfy a sweet tooth while you're trying to lose weight, I don't know that anything will really, because these are absolutely fantastic. I hope you make them yourself, because trust me, you're going to want to. And they do freeze really well. You could take them straight from here like I did after they cooled off, popped them in the freezer. That way I could pull out a few from time to time when I'm really wanting something sweet, but it's still full of protein. These things are absolutely amazing. I absolutely love them. I'll grab one from time to time. I usually keep about 6 in the fridge at a time. Otherwise, the rest of them are in the freezer. I'll typically make 2 dozen at a time, and then I'll freeze and I'll just pull some out from time to time. So I'm having them quite often during the month of October. Now, I don't know why I couldn't have it anytime. I mean, I guess you could just take the pumpkin spice out of it and it'd just be a great cookie, right? A good protein cookie. But when you've got that pumpkin spice in it, it really adds something, and it's amazing this time of year. So I absolutely love these things. Now let me say too, I know people are probably thinking oat flour. I don't have any oat flour on hand. Easiest way to get oat flour is take some oatmeal and grind it up. If you got a high-speed blender, if you got a spice grinder, which is what I used. Actually, I think it used to be a coffee grinder that I turned into a spice grinder that now became a flour mill. Because I just put the amount I needed of oats into it, ground it up until it was a really good flour, and bingo bango, you're good. You don't have to go buy anything fancy. You don't have to go onto Amazon or go to Health Store or anything to get some oat flour. Just grind it yourself and it makes it so much easier. If you like a little bit sweeter cookie, you can add a little bit more of a sweetener to it, like that Monkfruit Sweetener. I like it, but with the chocolate chips in here, it really adds a little bit to it as well. Also, I happen to mention in there that I use potassium chloride. Now that's because I don't use salt. If you're okay with salt, go ahead and use it if you want, but I like the potassium chloride because it'll give a salty flavor without the sodium. Again, I don't like sodium, but I absolutely love these cookies with that potassium chloride in them. So hopefully you'll take a chance and make these. Let me know if you do. Comment down below. Tell me what you thought about them. I guarantee you're going to absolutely love them. All right, so let's take a look at this week's numbers. As always, I got my phone here with me. So it looks like my average calories for the day was 1,285. Yeah, it was actually kind of a struggle to get that. One of the things that helped me were those protein pumpkin spice cookies because, 157 calories per with 11 grams of protein. Yeah, I snacked on several of those. I mean, they're amazing right out of the oven. Trust me on that. So looking at the rest of my numbers this week, it looks like my protein came in at 94 grams. Yeah, target of 90. Nah, that works for me. My fiber was an even 40. Hey, that's my target, so that works. That's up slightly from last week. Again, I got the rest of my beans in like I'm supposed to this week, so I'm good. My sodium came in at 1,288 milligrams. So that's a little bit higher than what I like. I like to stay in that 1,200 range, but it's not too bad, so I'm okay. And my potassium came in at 5,329. Yeah, that's great. Honestly, a little bit on the high side. I'll take it. But I got to watch that too because I don't want my potassium to be too high with my sodium too low because that wouldn't be good. So with that said, what did that do for me on the scale? Well, I'm going to be honest, a little bit disappointed. I'm only down 2. Now you say, oh, you lost 2 pounds. No, you got to remember I was up 6, right? So up 6 pounds, and that has to be pure fluid. And I'm really shocked that it hasn't come off me. If you remember from my birthday, all the beer that I drank and all that, I'm really surprised that the rest of it hasn't just flown off of me in a hurry. My sodium was at 1288. That's, on the high side of good, but still good. So I don't get it. And the only thing I can think of is that I haven't been moving as much. And that's because I've been sitting right here this past week for 8+ hours a day, my feet firmly planted into that ground. And I don't know, maybe that's it. It's not like I've been out running marathons before I went back to work or anything, but at least I was up and moving a whole heck of a lot more. And I don't have, a movable desk where I could put it up so I could stand up. So I do have one of those at work, and I will be in the building this next week, so I plan to use it, as well as try to get up and walk around a little more. But the problem about being in the building is that I can't take my water pills as I'm supposed to. So I only end up taking about half of them whenever I'm working in the building, because, if I take them like I'm supposed to, I'm going to be going to the bathroom all the time, which is a decent walk from my desk, and I just can't be doing that. Here at home, much closer, much faster, much easier. But when I'm there, it just doesn't work out that way for me. So I don't know. I'm really kind of worried about this upcoming week. I know if past this prologue, it's going to tell me that I'm going to gain weight again, because I typically do when I'm in the building. My only hope is that I'm still swollen and that maybe I'll throw an even week. I don't know. I really don't know, but we'll see, I guess. And it is, of course, Halloween week as well. So that's got another problem, because I'm sure people are going to be bringing in treats all week, and I'm going to have to try to avoid at least some of it. I will, though, be taking my breakfast sandwich for breakfast or my breakfast burrito for breakfast. I'll have my beans for lunch, so I will be ready to go every day, so I don't have to worry about any of that. But we'll have to see. You know, being prepared is a big thing, and that's what I'm going to try to do to make sure that I can hopefully have a successful week. But I'm not really expecting much, again, from being in the building. Now, the best part about it is this now starts my regular rotation schedule. So I was in the building 2 weeks ago when I first started back after my long leave of absence. I got a week at home. Now I go back in the building for a week, and then I'll get 3 weeks at home, 1 week in the building, 3 weeks at home. So I'll have time to adjust some and start doing much better. Looking forward to that, as well as starting my new workout routine come November 1st. Well, not really. I guess it'll probably be November 4th. I'm going to start doing a half an hour in the morning, but only on days when I work from home, because I can get up. I've got that extra time, so that'll give me time to go in, do some light weight training. You know, I've got those dumbbells that I can use, so I'm going to start doing that, as well as a 15 to 20 minute walk every morning before I start work, but only on the days that I work from home, simply because it just makes better sense. I don't want to have to completely destroy my work schedule to have to get up to work out like that when I'm in the building. So to me, at least to begin with, that's what I'll be doing. The 3 weeks that I'm at home, I'll be doing that workout, and then the 1 week in the building I won't. You know, give your body a chance to rest, I suppose. But we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how it all goes, I suppose. But I'm just rambling. Thank you again for coming by and watching this video. If you haven't already, give it a thumbs up. Drop me a comment below, help that algorithm out. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate it. And again, 1,000 thanks to all of you that have. My golly, I am so beyond excited. Thank you so much for that. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.